Are we live? We're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Super excited to have you here. And today on the show, we're bringing in one of my favorite people in the industry, Mark Techson. Mark, how you doing?
Let's go, Jason. Listen, the streets don't know that you are the coolest thing happening right now. I'm being for real. Like, you are so cool. I got to meet you. Like, where did we meet? We met in person a couple of times, but what's the first time we met in person?
It was at a conference, but I don't remember which one.
Yeah, at a conference, and then we got to hang out at a party later on where we got to spend way more time together, which was really awesome. And man, I'm glad to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so happy you're here. This is exciting because I feel like you and I have tried to work together a few times in the past, and timing, project load, it just hasn't worked out. So we got it this time. We made the connect, and today we're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff. But before we do that, I want to talk about you. So for folks who aren't familiar with you and your work, do you want to give us a bit of a background, who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so here's how I'm trying to describe myself these days. My name is Mark. I work as a developer relations engineer and a motivational speaker. I'm trying to get that more out there because that's a part of my life now. Being a motivational speaker, trying to inspire people to do their best work, live their best lives, especially for folks who are in this very particular age range. Those of us 40 plus, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard and we still have dreams. And I want to help a lot of people, do that.
Yeah, and we're getting love for it in the chat. You do mornings with Mark, which I absolutely adore. It's taken everything I have to not just directly steal that format because I think it's so good.
Yo, listen, Jason, you don't understand. When I saw Learn with Jason, I was like, damn it, I know him, so I can't steal it because it was so good. You don't understand. It's such a good idea. And I was like, even the format with the logo, I was like, is there a variation I can do? So I get that feeling of like being inspired by like your peers and you're like, damn it, this is so good, but I can't take this because that's their good thing.
No, so good. I'm getting asked for links to Mornings with Mark. Where's the best place to? Do you have a collection of those somewhere?
Yeah, you can find all of them. You can find me anywhere online, but you can find me all of them on Instagram at Mark Techson. You can find on YouTube at Mark Techson. Those are the best places to find the full collection of what I've been doing.
All right, wait, what?
And I'm going to eat a Pop-Tart because I'm hungry.
Dude, get it. Instagram.com, Mark Techson.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a... Hold up, let me show you this and you tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Have I been hacked?
You haven't been hacked. It's telling me the page doesn't exist and I'm guessing I typoed this. Or wait, is this one of those ones where you don't?
Well, you don't put the at.
There's no at symbol. Okay, all right. There it is. Okay, why am I not following you? I didn't know you were on Instagram.
It's okay. The betrayal begins already.
Right out of the gate. All right, let me get this out of here for now. And okay, so I've loved that stuff. The inspirational speaking you've been doing is amazing. I also love, one of my favorite things about watching you online is your relationship with your son and how you always refer to him as the heir. And that is like one of my favorites.
Thank you so much.
So good. So let's talk a little bit about Angular. Right, so Angular is one of the things that you're focusing on professionally, and it seems like there's been a lot going on in the Angular world these days. Pretty exciting stuff. So let's hear it. Let's start wherever you want to start. What's up with Angular?
So the thing that I'm telling people nowadays, which I think rings true, is that Angular is back like we never left, right? But when I say we're back, we've just taken some time, looked at a lot of evidence, listened to a lot of our community, and we've been able to update the framework to meet developers where they are right now. So think about Angular in general, like a big picture. Like, we were some of the originals to a lot of the paradigms that are popular in frameworks that you know and love. Like, you could find traces of Angular throughout just kind of popular frameworks. You could look at Vue, you could look at Svelte, you could look at a lot of these things and say, oh yeah, these are things that Angular kind of pioneered. But we had this really interesting time period where we knew we had to make a significant core change to the framework before we can get to where we are now. And that core change took us a little while to do. And, a lot of frameworks came up with a lot of great paradigms and great ideas since then. Now we've been able to learn from what our peers in the space are doing and then even innovate in some ways, which I hope we get to do today together. Like look at some of those features where we're actually innovating again. And it feels so good, Jason. It feels so good to be back in a position to create things that can help drive the web forward and not just make it more of a holy war between Angular developers or other. It's just like, look, here's some great ideas that you folks have. Here's some that we have. Like, let's all push it all forward.
I love that, and I mean, this is one of the things that got me excited because I, for better or worse, I haven't had a lot of Angular content on the show, and a lot of that came from just feeling like Angular had sort of settled into a groove and it was doing its thing, and it kind of wasn't. It was like it was part of the JavaScript community, but sort of held apart, and that really feels like it's changed. Like the relationship that I've seen that Angular has to the community feels very much like they're paying attention, they're pulling in good ideas, they're sharing good ideas. It feels like Angular's sort of back in the game as part of the JavaScript community, as part of this front-end community in a way that feels collaborative. And that's new and that's exciting. And I think that that was kind of what got my ears to perk up. And obviously, like having folks like you, like Jessica Janik, like there's so many good people. Wait, hold on. What just happened? I summoned her.
Jason, thank
Hello.
you so much for having me. And Mark, wait, why are you here? Isn't this my time to be on this show?
Jessica, I'm so sorry. I think you got your dates wrong.
Yeah, what's going on? Aren't you supposed to be like on holiday or something, Jessica?
Well, I thought you were supposed to be on holiday.
I
Yeah, wait, I think I know what happened here. You said mark this date on your calendar, and you meant Mark is on this date. That's
God, we let her on the show for 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
it's an easy mistake. If you think about it.
It is an easy mistake.
Well, I guess while I'm here, you mind if I ask a couple of questions since Mark's
Please,
here?
Take it away.
Okay, Mark, I've got some just a couple of questions here for you. I was curious, maybe you could answer some of these. There are several parts of Angular that have really interesting names, like Mark View Dirty, Mark for Check, Benchmark, Performance Mark, Mark View for Refresh. I was curious, how did you go about licensing your name for use in this open source project? And how do the royalties work? Do you get royalties?
It's one of those things where getting my legal team involved early made the difference here, Jessica, and that was the differentiator.
I see. I would love to learn more about that, but maybe I can find you afterwards and we'll
Sure. I'll be signing autographs and all kinds of stuff.
Great. That's great.
We'll have a meet and greet.
I guess. Okay. So your last name,
yes.
Mark Techson, right?
Yes.
I'm curious, what nationality is that?
It's just from the Intel Nation, and a little region called x86, and
yes.
That's kind of where it came from. And there's a
where
queen
in the
of
world
that.
is that?
Yeah, it's just in a place. It's right under the Architecture Islands. I don't know if you heard of that before.
Do you, Archipelago?
No, the Architectural Islands.
Oh, I see.
The Architectural Islands, and there's a queen there. She's very smart, and she came up with a good pun on Thompson to Techson.
I see.
Ended up marrying her.
Wait, your last name isn't actually Techson?
No, it's not, but it is now. I'm going to be like Jamie Foxx. This is a true story. I'm going to be like Jamie Foxx, where I'm just going to drop Thompson from all public appearances, and I will be going by Techson. Y'all think I'm joking about this? This is not a joke. Friends at home, look for Mark Techson at a stage near you, because that is the name I will be using henceforth.
Okay. Well, I've only got 5 or 6 more questions. But, you work with a lot of people on the Angular team, and I'm just curious, who's your favorite person on the team?
Hmm. There's this person who's been following me around geographically for a few years. We lived in the same neighborhood in California. Grew up in the same area.
Yeah, yeah.
It's she's great. She's great. She has a lot of puns, and so I can't think of her name right now, but she's great.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's that's interesting to hear. I'll have to share that with the rest of the team. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to know that you have a favorite person on the team. Um, and I guess I'll just kind of wrap it up with one more question. Can I have your autograph?
You can. I'm going to do that. I'm going to send you a piece of paper with my signature on it.
Okay,
You
great.
get that in the mail.
I'm so excited. I'm such a big fan, Mark.
You got to pay
So
shipping and handling though, so just be prepared.
I don't know if I can afford that, but we'll see. We'll work it out. Okay. Well, I think I've probably interrupted this enough since I got my schedule mixed up. So I'll just leave this with it's good to see you both as usual. And happy holidays to both of you and to your whole audience. I hope you have a wonderful new year. And I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
You take good care.
You take, the usual care.
Bye, Jessica.
Bye, Jessica. Shout out to Chaos Monster. Chaos Monster, shout out to you. I know Chaos Monster from other streams. Shout out to you.
That was a lot of fun. I'm so glad that I switched over my streaming architecture recently, which allows me to have like additional guests. I used to only be able to have like one guest at a time, and so asked me 4 months ago, and this would not have been possible. But today, unlimited guests.
Why did you let her trick you into letting her come onto the show? That's my question. Why would you allow that? You let her trick you.
I was at a conference with Jessica recently, and I was at the MC, and she was one of the speakers.
Yeah.
And they had like a moderated Q&A, and so you could submit a question, and then I got a list of questions while I was on stage, and she came up with the most horrific pun-based questions for every single speaker. And honestly, it's being sincere for a second, I actually think Jessica is one of my favorite people in tech because she stuck through the whole conference. She was there. She was paying attention. She came up with puns. Like, it's so nice to see somebody who's like truly engaged. And again, this points to what we were talking about before she came in. The change that I've seen on the Angular front, where we've got people they're like in it. Like you are in the community. Jessica's in the community. That's really impressive and really kind of like gives me a lot of energy, makes me want to kind of pay attention to what's going on. So with that whole tangent aside, let's talk a little bit about some of the specifics. So Angular has gone through this sort of transformation. It's coming back to be real collaborative with the community again. What are some of the things that you're seeing? Like what are you excited about?
Oh, I think there are two big things on the horizon for Angular that just continue to make developer experiences special for our developer community. And the first thing is defer, right? Defer, which is this idea that you could lazy load a part of your template in your component. Like that, I'm telling you, that just feels like magic. And every time someone asks me about this feature, I just think defer is magic, and it's something that we'll see because it's almost like an island, right? Like island architecture that you see in other frameworks. I think Astro has island architecture. It's almost like that, except for this is declarative at the template level, right? So within a component, I can say, wait, this part of my component, do not load this, right? Like, and it's just a couple lines of code, not like the older kind of patterns that we've been known for. Listen, nobody's in the dark about Angular being complicated at times, right? So it's not a secret. And we know that. So the way we implemented this thing makes it such that anybody, even a junior developer, can implement the default behavior for defer. And I say junior developer meaning user experience, not an indication of skill, right? But if you think about lazy loading in general, that's just a task that is traditionally a little bit more advanced, right? And requires more effort. And with defer, we just like, nope, wrap it in a defer block and it is done. And it's just, cool. It just works. And it's so good. And then The big talk that we've been doing is about signals. We already landed signals in Angular with version 17 and production ready signals in Angular, which is huge for us. And I think that what's going to happen next that's special is when our reactivity system in general is based on signals, right? We migrate our community at one part at a time, which is something I think Angular is kind of unique about, where instead of like making people kind of branch off and be like, well, you're stuck on Angular 16 and Angular 17 uses signals, you're stuck. We're like, nope, Angular 17 has support for signals. And you can migrate when you're ready. And when you're ready, we're going to give you the tools to migrate, right? So we'll also write these things like migration scripts, kind of like, how Ruby on Rails is. We build a new project. You're like, oh, let me run all these scripts to kind of upgrade. We do a similar style thing where you can get tools from us, first party from us, that'll migrate your code to new things that we release. We try to do that whenever we can.
Yeah, that sort of thing is, I think, one of the things that I think is like a superpower of Angular is that Angular thinks long term in a way that I haven't seen a lot of other JavaScript ecosystem tools think. Like, one of the things, and I won't name names. The goal is not to do like compare and despair here. The point is to just sort of like draw attention to the fact that an Angular code base is intended to live for years. And you can tell in the way that the APIs stay stable, in the way that I've heard people on your core team talking about things that they would love to change, but they won't because it would break the community.
That's right. That's right.
And so there are these really interesting things about long-term support, the migration tools that mean that when you choose Angular, you don't have to think about, well, the next major version, we have to dedicate 6 months to overhauling our code base to be on the new thing. You run the migration tool and it's pretty confidently going to be on the new version without you having to make any code changes, right? That's an attention to detail that's thinking about teams and maintenance in long term, that I think is, that's also one of the reasons why I think whenever I see people using Angular, it is almost always on huge applications, like big enterprise teams with lots and lots of requirements. And it's because of that sort of attention to detail. I think that shows through.
And the enterprise thing is such an interesting parallel because I think that we live in an age where people can spin up. So like when you and I started development, years ago, spinning up an application and deploying it someplace was a big deal, right? Like it wasn't as turnkey as it is now. We can go to like Netlify or Firebase hosting and just like, you don't even need that. You can just go to GitHub Pages and get your application. I mean, that's how far we've come. But what I think has gotten lost in that conversation is that people forgot that the goal of every application is scale. Like that is the goal of every application. So when people say enterprise, I've seen it kind of thrown around in like a negative light, like, oh, that's only for enterprise. You would be so lucky if your project became an enterprise scale project. That's what we all want. Like nobody builds something thinking like, I only want to handle 30 users a month. No, you want 500,000 users a month. You want, thousands and thousands of requests. You want that enterprise scale, no matter who you are, unless you're building like a little app, like a little project app for your, like bake sale, right? Like in your neighborhood. Right. Okay, fine. Then that makes sense. Then maybe you don't want to use something that's built with scale in mind. But if you think about scale being the goal of most applications, most businesses, Angular uniquely positions itself in that place where like, when you're ready, we'll give you a lot of tools to start. And then as you grow with the goal of being at scale, we're going to be there and give you tools along the journey, which I think is unique to Angular in a lot of ways.
I couldn't agree more. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the Twitch side chat because it's getting out of hand over here. I have back here in the corner. I have this rabbit. Right?
Oh.
It's a rabbit with a mustache and a monocle, and I put it in the background thinking this will add some visual interest to my set.
Yeah.
Did not realize it was going to fully just derail the entire chat.
Oh no, it became so now it's its own thing, and if you ever move it, people are like, man, Jason sold out. He moved the rabbit. He moved the rabbit. The rabbit is gone.
So, okay. So, I mean, you just ran through an absolute laundry list. I'm gonna have Jessica, who we saw a few minutes ago. She's gonna be on January 11th, and we're gonna
Right.
dig into Defer, which is, I think that's a feature she sort of led, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So she's gonna be digging into Defer and a few other little tricks and treats in the Angular set. So make sure you mark that on your calendar. You can add a reminder on YouTube and let's see, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching from, you can probably add a reminder for the next one. And, just a quick reminder, everybody, like and subscribe and share this video with people. It helps get more people to see it, which means that I get to make more of them, which means that we get to keep having these ridiculous conversations about rabbits.
Jason, can I tell you a trick that I learned about YouTube live streaming? Did you know that you can get a URL to the next live video on YouTube for your
Is
channel?
that true?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So like I set up like Angular, like goo.gle/ng-live, and that always goes to our next live video.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a very good idea that I will be looking into as soon as
Yeah,
we're done here.
I'll DM you later about how how to do it. It's available to everybody, but I love that because you mentioned all the platforms, right? That you'll be able to like find yourself, and you can just have a link to the next live video, whatever it is.
That's
YouTube
super
will
handy.
always point to it.
I love that because that is a pain point for me right now because I always have to remember to go switch the URLs out. Wonderful stuff. And I apologize. I should have said you need to Jessica that on your calendar. And we've got a very relevant question from the chat today. Jason Torres wants to know what's on the feet today.
Black Cat 13s.
I don't know what those are, but I bet they're dope.
No, good question. Jason asked what's on the feet today. Black. So my whole thing is like gold chains and Jordans when I'm presenting.
Yeah.
Stage. And people don't know why I do that. Can I just take a quick second to tell people why I do that? Here's why the gold chains and Jordans came into play. When I was first starting public speaking, I would go to a lot of schools and do like CS education, right? And I would go in there with like a polo or like a button-up shirt and like slacks. And I couldn't get any of these high school kids to like even look in my direction. They wouldn't even pay attention. Then one day I was just out on my normal day and I was like, oh crap, I got to make sure I get to the school. I will not have time to go home and change. And I had on a pair of Jordans that day. I heard them in the class like, yo, look at his shoes. Look at his shoes. And I was like, that's the secret? Like, that's the secret to get your attention? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to make this about, always wearing Jordans to let them know that you could have any type of like career you want. You know what I mean? Like, of course, if I was a lawyer, maybe I got to wear a suit. But like in tech, like you didn't have to fall into like the mode of what like people look like. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start wearing gold chains. And then I wore one small gold chain one time, right? I didn't even have a chain big as this before. I wore a small gold chain, and somebody on YouTube was like, "Man, they hired Tupac to do Angular videos." And I said, "Oh, you want to see Tupac? Oh, you want to start cutting up? You want to start acting out? I'm gonna show you Tupac." And ever since then, it's been like I can't go on stage without like fresh J's and gold chains, just to show that you can be smart, talented, and and still be authentic to whatever's authentic to you. You know what I mean? Like this part of the culture that I grew up in, and that's something that I feel like I had to hide for so long when I first, kind of got into tech, and I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a good. I love that's a great reminder because the other thing that I would note is that your approach makes you unique and notable, right? Like you're not another suit, you're not another like collared shirt. You're out there being yourself, teaching people in the way that you want to teach people, and that helps me remember, like, oh yeah, and like if you're trying to describe somebody, you it's hard to say like, well, the tech guy with the hoodie, and it's like, yeah, okay, which one? But if you say the guy who's wearing a gold chain and Jordans, how many tech guys out there are wearing gold chain? Not many, right? And if that's like if you can find the things that make you comfortable getting up and being yourself, and that allows you to bring more of yourself to the screen or to the stage or to the conference room, it just, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm more in my skin instead of putting on like my work skin,
Yeah,
And
that's right.
As odd as that feels at first, I've always noticed that tends to get better results. Like people respond to real people.
Just being yourself. Angie Jones, one of my favorite humans in the universe, has a T-shirt that says "Be you, they'll adapt or they'll adjust," and I just started to do that like more and more. And what's wild is that I've seen more success in being myself than I ever did trying to fit into what I thought people wanted me to be.
Jessica has asked me to ask you about hosting game shows.
Okay, so we talked about this, Jason, but I want to quit tech in general and become a game show host. Like, I want to do that for the rest of my life, to be honest with you. So I do get some chances to do that. Like, we were at NGConf 2 years ago, and I got to host Family Feud. That's why she said I was like Steve Harvey. And then we had some internal tech conferences at Google, and I got to do hosting. And whenever I'm doing that type of stuff, which is like just talking to people, engaging with people, and having a good time, telling jokes, man, that is me living at my like purest form of like, you know what I mean, of what I dream of. And I love tech and I love teaching, but I do want to quit and just go to Hollywood and become a talk show host.
This is another reason why I think I like you so much, is because I am trying to go the same way, but with producing stuff. So I have a game show treatment written up, and I've got you earmarked for it, by the way, where I am trying to get a company. I need a tech company to understand how much more impactful it would be to do a game show than it would be to spend that $750,000 on throwing another conference that you got to give away all the tickets to.
Right.
Like, man, if we make the Great British Bake Off for nerds, do you know what's going to happen? Do you know what's going to happen? It's going to go absolutely off the rails, out of control, to the moon. Like, it'll be incredible. So all of you, go tell your bosses that you want to watch game shows and tell them they sponsor me, and then we'll get Mark to host it.
You got me with the buy-in when you said, do you know what's going to happen? Because that, in my heart, let me know how much you believe in this idea. As soon as you said that, that's why I started clapping, because I'm like, that's it right there. Because he believes it. I believe it now. I believe it. Listen, you let me know as soon as you, even if you want to do a pilot, I'll be there. You just make it happen, bro. Set it
Absolutely.
up. Set it up. I'll call my agent.
Yes.
Agent.
It's gonna. Is your agent the heir?
Yeah, right. Agent, Dad needs to go to host a game show.
I love it. We've got the chat in over on Twitch is coming up with Tupac themed Angular songs.
All eyes on the NG.
From
I like that.
from Tupac. Yeah. Yep. There we go.
Angular love.
Signals want to be a thug. Come on. Get out of here with that.
The streets are with us, man. I love it. I love the energy.
Okay, so how long have we been on the air? We're gonna get nothing done. Why don't I switch this over?
Okay, let's do some code. But you see how much fun we're having? This lets me know that you and I, we have more. There are other worlds than these. We have more things that we'll be able to do, I think, in our future together.
Absolutely. All right, so let's see. We talked about Jessica's episode. There's a link for that. I'm gonna throw that up just in case you want to continue on with whatever shenanigans we're doing. And then we're talking to Mark today. So This is Mark on Instagram. This is Mark on Twitter. And it's about to be Mark on Angular. So here's a link to the new Angular site, which is freaking gorgeous, by the way. Let's look at this for a second. Just everybody, just take a deep breath and be ready to be amazed. Just watch it go.
Look at that.
Oh, look at this site.
Ooh,
it's so good.
That thing is clean. That thing is clean.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then it comes straight in to an editable code like snippet, so you can just try something out. Very, very cool stuff. This is one of my favorite sites I've seen in a while for like a framework. It's beautiful. It's fun to use.
And you got a sneak peek of this thing, and you gave us some like really great feedback. And we took that seriously, for real. We took that evidence. We're evidence driven. And when people, I'm telling you, when people say, "Oh, we listen to the community," like we were like, I took everything you said, wrote up in a doc. Like, listen, friends, we got some things that we didn't expect people to do, but that's what they're doing. And we're like, oh, that makes sense. Let's make some improvements. So this site is in beta, so we're continually improving it. There's still Angular.io, which is our like regular site, but this is going to be the future home of Angular developers. This is where to go. You can learn here. You can learn in the browser. You can build projects in the browser. I mean, like we're really cooking with this thing.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh God, Jason and Markdown. Come on now.
The Jason and Markdown show. Let's go, bro. Let's go. You gotta go. That's it. Jessica Janik is having a field day by seeing these puns. I'm sure she's just like losing it.
I hope that you're having a wonderful day, Jessica, because this is definitely the highlight of my week so far. It's so okay. I want to play with Angular. I have used Angular very lightly. I did a lot of Angular during Angular 1. Back in 2014, 2015?
Yeah.
I did a bunch of projects then, and then I just sort of like drifted away from it. I took a project where they were using React, and so I used React, and then my next project, I think I was trying to do like 11D or something, and I've just sort of spiraled off into like, now I do whatever it is I do, where I don't ever use anything for longer than 15 minutes. But I'm excited to come back and see what's going on with Angular. So if I want to give this a try, where do I start? What do I do first?
First thing you can do, so let's choose your adventure. Do you want to do local or do you want to do in browser?
Let's do local.
Let's do local. Okay, first thing you do, let's get a terminal up. Some access to a terminal. You're going to want to install the Angular CLI, which is our tooling suite. Okay, and I'll give you the command for that.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, you want to do npm I, right? And then you could do -G for global if you want. It's up to you. And then do the @ sign Angular /CLI.
Okay.
Boom. So that gives you our tooling and scaffolding tool. So you can do the Angular CLI is really robust, really powerful, get you lots of stuff.
Okay. And that's the N. Oh, wait.
You got to do ng space version. No dash dash.
No dash dash.
Yeah, I don't know why we did that. That's a confusing thing to even me, but.
Would I like to enable auto completion? Yes, I would.
Go for it.
Share pseudonymous. Pseudonymous. I like that. That's more honest too than like fully anonymous. Yeah, right. I'll give you data. You can have my data.
Let us know what you're doing. We just want to know what you're doing so we can make it better. I promise.
Okay, so we're Angular 17. I'm on Node 20.
Perfect.
Excellent. I'm ready.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Look, you got the fire on. You got the stove. Time to start cooking, baby. All right. So here's what you can do. You can make your first application with our scaffolding tool just by doing ng. That's short for Angular. New. And then you just say whatever you want to call it. You give it a name.
All right, let's call it Angular is so back.
So back. All right, choose your styles. Do you want to do CSS? Okay, so let me explain why this is important. We do not have like our own subset of CSS.
Okay.
You can use whatever the browser supports, right?
Okay.
So you can write it in these formats. You can do CSS, less, or SAS, right? Or SCSS. Whatever you're comfortable with, you use it, it works.
All right. So I'm gonna use CSS.
Okay. Now, this is if you want to do static site generation. So this is all about the server-side story. I think for our first one, you don't have to enable this. If you want, you can, but it's easy to enable later. So you can do no for now.
Okay.
All right, done. Application's created.
Okay, we're doing the install like that.
And that's giving you just a quick update about all the things that it's going to make for you. We could have reduced even these files if we wanted to even a smaller set of files. But, you know, this is just what we say by default. Comes with some other stuff. All right, here's what I want you to do in your VS Code editor. So because you want to have all the tools working in your favor, you want the Angular language service. Oh, nice. It prompted you. Install that joker. Install that joker. Let me tell you what that's going to give you. In your templates, you can write HTML, right? But you can also write Angular code. The Angular language service gives you things like type information in your templates, like in the HTML. You can like click on the component and it'll navigate to the right place, give you some operations that you normally would not have in your HTML template. It'll treat it as a regular HTML. This will give you superpowers.
Got it. Okay, cool. So let's see, we've got that. It is installed globally, so we should be in good shape there. And then if I pop open the code editor here, let me initialize this so that we can see what's going on over here. And this is our project.
That's your project. Feeling good, feeling great. Okay, you want to do a walkthrough of some of the highlight files?
Yeah.
At a high level. So here are some of the coolest things you need to know about. If you look at angular.json, you don't have to go in there, but because it's a lot of configuration. This is your project configuration. You can do lots of things in Angular. Like one thing that Angular by default supports is like the mono repo structure, where you can have multiple projects inside one workspace, and then you're not even having to reinstall those dependencies. It'll work. So that's why there's so much configuration here, because you can have that, and then you can configure other parts of your application. So when it comes to app configuration, you can update this file. But hear me out, because people will look at this and be like, "Oh, this is a lot." You don't actually have to do much editing here, because our tools will usually update this for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And this is something that I've noticed, is that Angular has a lot of, like something like this, I think I would typically refer to as like a boilerplate file.
Sure.
But what I remember being painful about boilerplate was that I had to go sift through a lot of config docs and figure out exactly what each thing was and how they fit together. And with this, it's more like if I want to change something, I would say like ng, generate is the command.
Sure, you can do generate.
And then that would like put in a new thing, and that'll update this for me. And this is something that I like Angular's done for a while. It's something that I think is really clever, and it's also like something that other frameworks are picking up. Like if you look at the way that Astro handles it, they also, they've got config, but they update it from their CLI whenever you change it, so that you're very rarely in the config yourself. And I think that's really good.
Right. And this is the thing where you, like advanced users who be like, "Oh, I go right in there and then I open it myself." But look at Chaos Monster. I open it maybe once a quarter, if at all. That is a very common experience, is that I usually open this when I'm learning something about Angular's internals. Is when I would open this, like, okay, we're gonna do internationalization. Let me try to understand some of the settings, then I'll go in here. But usually I don't have to open it. Okay, so you got angular.json. That's the place where you can find out about your Angular project, your configuration. Let me show you where the magic happens. Go to main.ts.
Here.
Okay, this is the bootstrap. So if you're a React person, just kind of let you know, there's at one point where it's just like render DOM, that one call in your index.js that like says, here's the main component that you're going to render and how to kick off your application. Well, here's our version of that bootstrap process. On line 5, you got bootstrap application. Which application you're going to be bootstrapping from? App component. What about the, and then your configuration, that app config, we can go into that when we need to, but that's another place where, you might specify some other configuration like routing, for example, or this idea of your providers. That's a little bit more advanced. A person just starting today doesn't necessarily need to know about this, but this is a place where if you're like, oh yeah, I configure routing for my application. Oh, remember I said we can add SSR later? Yeah. You add it here, one line. It's the one-liner to add it. You see what I'm saying? Got it. Things like that. So this is a more advanced file, but you come in here when you're ready to start doing more configuration of the application. So that those are your 2 files you really start off with: main ts app config. All right. Now let's get to how do I know what's even on the screen? Let's see what's on the screen right now. Let's go to your terminal. Let's do an ng and then serve. We use Vite as a dev server, and it comes set up for you, right? So you don't have to do anything extra.
And this is I think another really cool thing, is that Vite has sort of become the Rosetta Stone of local dev, at least, if not for a lot of serving, because I think at this point with Angular adopting Vite, I don't know if there's anybody left that's not using it in the major framework players. That's really exciting because it opens the door for some really interesting stuff, as we've seen with like Astro, for example, where you can use just about every framework inside of Astro. That's freaking cool. And I think we've even got an Astro Angular integration now, if I remember correctly. Let's go. It is super cool. Like, huge props to the Veet team for making something that we can all universally agree on. Like, how often does that happen? Where am I going here? I need to get to this one. So let's put the code over here. And then I will open up. Okay.
Done. You got a fully deployable application. You could deploy this, right? With the configuration that you have right now, it's deployable and it will run. Like if you deploy to Firebase, for example, which is a 2-command step. If you wanted to, you could do like I'm just saying like high level, you would do ng add, which is for you to add like Angular specific packages. You could do ng add, you do like Angular fire, and then do ng deploy. And then you could deploy, like those are the 2 commands if you had everything set up for on your Firebase side.
Yeah.
And you could deploy this. That's a demo that I would normally show people. It's like, we want you to be productive from the start and make sure that we're out of your way as much as we can be. And this is one of the ways we do that.
Yeah, I think that's great. I just realized before we go another step here, I want to do a quick shout out to our captioning because I forgot to do that. So we've got Amanda here with us from White Coat Captioning today, taking down all these words. The ticker that's going at the bottom of the screen here has the link if you want to see the live captions. I'm still trying to figure out how to get closed captions into StreamYard. If anybody knows, please let me know. That is made possible through the support of Netlify and Vetsu Code. Thank you so much for kicking in to make this show more accessible to more people. And those sponsorships end at the end of this year. So if you've got a company that wants to help me make this show more accessible, let me know. Let's talk because I need the help. Okay, so now that I've done that, let's get back into this. So we've got our Angular app running, and we are running locally. We've got our code up, and I'm ready to rock. What happens next?
App.component.ts. That's because remember, in this file we said app component is our bootstrap component. So what you saw on the screen is all defined here in this file.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's break down how this works. And let's say in something like React, you have functions, but we use classes, right? And so to make this app component class something special, because without anything, it's valid code if you just have export class app component, but it's just a class with one property called title. How do we make this special, Jason? We add the decorator component. So that's where all the magic is happening. That turns it from a regular class into a component class that can then be rendered onto the screen. Okay, so some of the most important part, let's just write some code. So let's go to where it says template URL. That's one of the properties.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's take that from being an HTML file. Just go ahead and delete that as is. Yep, and put backticks instead of single quotes.
Okay.
All right, and then change that template URL to just template. Because by default, our template was in a separate file. That's what gave us that thing that you saw. So put your hello world, just so you can get comfortable. Put hello world up in there and save it.
Okay.
All HTML is valid here. So you can do whatever you want. You know, if you will put that in the H1, whatever you would do.
Yeah, we'll just throw this into a quick paragraph tag.
Love it. Save it. Let's go back to the browser. Bam. Update it.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and zoom in like 6 times so the streets can know what we're doing. Yeah, there you go.
Good call.
All right, excellent. So now you can see there's the edit refresh loop that you have in Angular where you make a change as long as the dev server is running, it'll refresh your screen with the latest change.
I might even be able to, let's see if I pop these together.
Then we
can show that happening in real time there.
Oh yeah, you're cooking right now. You're cooking. So all your styles for this component, let's talk about this. Okay, so I wanted to show you that so you can get an idea about as we build out how we'll do that process. But let's talk a little bit about what the other properties are in the component. So you got the selector property, app-root. That can be anything you want it to be, but this is how you reference it in your HTML file in your other component. So it needs a name. Okay, in React, as I use React, I used to teach React, and also I know people are familiar with React, right? In React, you use the actual class name as an element in your JSX. In Angular, because we're using raw or regular HTML here, we have a selector system, right? You define your like custom tag selector name.
Got it.
So that's what you call it. Standalone equals true. This is one of our newer features. One of the things we used to have is this module system that handled all of our dependencies and stuff. because we have dependency injection, which is something that is another feature that Angular has, which is great, where you can provide services and values across your application through a dependency injection system that you normally would see on the back end. We support that on the front end, which is a really nice feature. But we used to manage all that stuff with this thing called modules. And we found that to take Angular to the next level, modules have to be optional, right, as a concept. And standalone means this component itself can literally be used by itself. It manages its own dependencies. And then you can bootstrap an application from this component, which is what we actually did. So if you saw it, that's literally what we did. We bootstrapped this component. All right. Then you get your import.
And so
go ahead. Sorry.
Typically you would do this. You're only going to set standalone on your root component then?
All components.
All components. Okay. Got it. All right. So then we get into our imports, and I see here that we've pulled in a common module and a router outlet. I have a guess what this one is. I'm not sure what a common module is, though.
Good questions. I love it. Let's talk about common module. That's just some of the features that you'll probably want to use in your template. So there are some built-in things that we provide that are going to just be in that common module, or you can pull out the individual things later.
Got it. Okay.
So this is the default generated app. We're not even using routing at the moment. So the router outlet would just be the place where we could say, this is where, when we have another page, put it, wherever this router outlet is, literally the place to plug in the rendered content from the other pages. So
so like when you got a layout and it's got like your header and your footer are shared, and then the page content needs to go in the center, the router outlet is like the page content here placeholder in between your header and footer.
Man, you a genius. Because it's true. It's true. That's exactly how you do that. All right. Let's come up with an idea. I'm going to grab my tablet here so I can write down some notes on what I want to do with you. But what can we build so then that way we can like get cooking? Because I have the features I want to show you, but I want to show you in context of us building over the next like few minutes.
So my thought is that we probably want to show how we get data into an app. I want to figure out how we use like a component, like a reusable component, kind of get props and all that stuff in there.
Yep.
So how about we got two options. We could use one of those APIs like the dog CEO API to get pictures of dogs, and make something where you could like send off a query, get a breed of dogs, like, get corgis, get pit bulls, get whatever, and then list those. Or we could use, I have on my site an API for Learn with Jason episodes, and so we could make like a schedule lister thing. If we want search, we should use the dog API. Like if we want to actually be able to configure what comes back.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a few things here. Let's look at that. Does that dog API give you like resources down to like, dog API /1, and I can like, ID level?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
great.
You can get a, let's see. Whoops. By breed, and then I think you get an individual.
All right, let's run
Actually, now I got a question. Now I'm not sure. By breed, get these. Actually, I don't know if you get individuals. I don't think you do.
Okay, so let's do this. I got you though. I'm not even worried about that for now, because I know what we want to do. Let's just make some card UIs with some dogs, and that'll give us a couple things, because then we can show the reusable component first, and then we can go into just all the different parts. I got you.
Hold up. I think we got a sneaker API.
I mean, if we in the streets with the sneakers.
I have to type this out because apparently you can't copy paste out of StreamYard, which is fine, I guess.
You got to take a lot of L's in this situation. I don't know why. They're kind of forcing you to take some L's that you shouldn't have to take.
Oh, this is great. Okay, so here we go. We've got the sneaker database, and oh no, do I need an API key? Okay, well that's not going to work if we have to get an API key. I don't think this is going to work, unfortunately.
So right, that's all right. Let's just run it with the dog API for now, and let's get some things going. So the first thing we're gonna need, because what I'm thinking about is we'll just list up the dogs, you know, we'll list them, and we can get so many different features if we do it this way. So
Okay.
let's do it like this. Let's first we're gonna need, let's just say, let's make a dog card, right? A
Okay.
component for a dog card. So go back to your command line. All right, and then you can leave your dev stuff and running. You can open a new tab. Yeah, that looks good. Do not laugh at me. My mother used to tell me, do not laugh at him because it'll only make him act worse. So do not laugh at him.
Don't encourage these shenanigans.
Right. Do not encourage that boy. He will lose control of himself. All right, so we're going to do ng. All right, generate, or G for short. But G is for generate.
Okay.
But your autocomplete is working, I think, right?
It's working and it's wonderful.
Arabasha, look at that. Araba. Let's go. All right, so generate, and then we're going to say component. That's what we want next. And then just name the component. But I'm going to tell you before you hit enter what to do. All right, so let's call it dog card. Dog. You can do dash card if you want. We'll do some good stuff for you. And then space --st. Yeah, try that. Oh, wait, maybe do only one dash. Let me see if that's still what I'm doing right. All right, cool. Okay, so the ST flag was just to remove some of the boilerplate that we generate whenever we make a new component. So, see, it's only...
Oh, nice and simple, yeah.
Yeah, without all the extra stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so let's jump into that dog card component.
Oh, and here it is, nice and clean, real simple.
Real simple, exactly right. See, you can start from here. Everything's ready for you. This component is ready to be used in our other component right now. So if you copy the name of the class right at the bottom, yep, and then go back to your app component, we're going to import it. So you're going to just go into your imports array. Oh yeah, you can do that too. I was going to say you can go imports array, and it also would have figured it out.
Oh, you just go straight in?
You can. I'll show you what I mean. It'll help you out. So, and then resolve that error by importing by control space. I think you can do. Or command space. Yeah, you see.
Nice and easy.
So we're working on it where you only need to import once and then it'll do it. But we're not there yet. We're working on it. Okay. Everybody just relax. We're working on it. So go into your template code right here on line 10. Because this is HTML, we're going to reference our new dog component just to get it on the screen so we know that things are working.
Okay.
So add a new line at the end of this line, but within the text. Yep. And then you're gonna do angle bracket, and then you start typing app dog. There you go.
App dog card. Oh, it does it like that. Okay.
Yep. You could do self-closing too if you want. So instead of doing the full, just do self-close. Yeah. Now let's look at our app code. So now that lets you know that you have an app dog component. You see how quick that was? You're right in there.
What's app dog?
Mm.
Come on.
Oh, I know. The pain is hurting me. Because that was good. That was very clever, actually. I don't know what's happened with you. All right. So, come on, man, y'all. They're gonna be like, look, we're unsubscribing because Mark and Jason cannot. They just cannot get themselves together. All right. If we look at that dog CEO API, what kind of data can we get for an individual dog?
We can get, let's see, so we can do like a list of all the breeds, and we can get, if we go by breed, it gives us images. If we go,
okay, let's see here.
Oh wait, here I got an idea. So you were talking about potentially doing, I think if I'm reading your mind correctly, you were talking about doing a list on the front page.
Yep.
And then you'd be able to click into one to get like a subpage. Yep. Okay. So what we could do is we could get our list of breeds and then use the breeds to click into. And then we'll be able to show one image here. And then when we get into each breed, we can show like maybe the first 10 off of the list here.
Sure. I'm totally fine with that. So is there a breed photo? No, there's not a breed photo. Where's there?
But we can get that. So if we go to by breed, we can do the slug and then add images and just grab the first one.
I see. I see. Okay, so let's get the breed API. So this is something that I normally would not jump to when I was showing somebody to do Angular, but your audience is pretty advanced, so they kind of like know how to write applications. So we'll jump a little bit because what I was going to do first was pick out the data points that we display in the dog card, right? Fill those in, then show you how to pass in data to customize that, and then from there tie in the data at the end, the live data at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the way I normally would do this, but we can go straight to the data and then work from the data first.
Let's get wild. Let's do it. So, so the way that I would expect this to work is that we want to set up a loop where we're going to generate one dog card for each breed.
That's right.
Okay. So,
so do you want to get like spicy and have the experts roast us, or do you want to let's just make something work? We can always refactor.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if we can offend all of the crusty Angular programmers in one line of code, we should do it every time.
They're gonna roast us. They're gonna be like, you should not do this. This should be in a service. This should be in a service. But let's get roasted. I like that, Vinny. I like that energy.
We got an
Brandon.
endorsement from Brandon. Does Brandon count as one of the crusty Angular developers?
No, but Brandon, I would put Brandon's name is II Picante Brandon, because he comes with all the hottest takes on the streets. The streets know that Brandon comes with the hot takes. All right, so
I remember Brandon coming in with some spicy takes in the Angular community not too long ago.
and he's a friend of the community, even though he be roasting us, which I can respect that hustle. Okay, so let's jump into this. So ideally, in your constructor for a class, this is computer science, not Angular. And your constructor for a class, you do not want to do anything that's going to take a long time, because creating instances is going to be slower that way. So what we do in Angular usually to handle this, we do this thing called ng on init, which is a lifecycle method. Okay, so you're going to do first thing, you're going to go to line 14.
Line 14.
And at the end, before the opening bracket, you can do implements, right? And then on init. Perfect. It just told you.
Oh,
That's
it
right.
knew.
On init. Yep. Now your class needs to implement the ng on init. So if you try to resolve the error, it'll tell you what to do, because you're missing a quick fix. Should be to implement ng on init. Perfect. Okay, great. Let's do a fetch in here. Okay, so we're not gonna get super roasted, but this is better than nothing. So let's get that throw error method not implemented. Let's get that out of there.
Okay.
And let's do a regular good old fetch. So
Can I make this async?
you can make it async. Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so
Yep.
I'm going to await fetch, and we'll hit this dog CEO breed list API. I'm going to make
Yeah.
sure that that's not wrapping for whatever reason. I got to turn off the autocomplete on whatever this thing is, although I guess that's useful. So we'll get the data, and then once I have the data, I need to do something with it.
Store it someplace. Let's make a variable, a property under title. Let's make one called dog list.
Okay.
Now the type for this list, it cannot. Okay, you gotta be careful here. That's gonna be typed never, because it's TypeScript. So you won't be able to add anything to that. You don't want to do that. Yeah, I've done that so many times I couldn't figure out what to fix. Let's give it a type, right?
Let's give it a type. And the type
right.
I'm going to give it is what we'll
an
just go
array.
with. We'll just go with string.
A string array, fine. It's something. Now it's no longer type never, which you can actually add something to it. You see? So that's a pain point. In TypeScript, it's not an Angular thing. It's a TypeScript thing. It's doing the right thing. I just don't like it. Okay. Let's keep going. So now
Ready?
we have our data. We just need to adapt the data from data to dog list, whatever that looks like. So you can do it for each or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know what the right thing you're going to get.
Let me do this. I'm going to do map.
Oh, wait. There's a message property first. So you probably got to go over the dot message.
Yeah, so we get to the dot message, and then I need to get the keys. So actually, maybe I can just do like an object dot keys, get the data message.
Yeah.
And then I think that would be it, right?
That should give us an array of arrays.
Well, I think it should just give us an array of the names, right?
All right, but the
Why
name
don't we-
properties will be array, right?
Yeah.
But we just want the names for now. That's totally right. Let's run
What
it.
are we? What are you unhappy about? Leave me alone.
Wait, is it saying you're not returning?
Well, it's because we made it async. It's a promise, but now it's
Wait,
a
we're not
promise.
returning anything. That's weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, well, because we made it async, it's always returning a promise.
Oh, the function is returning a promise.
Yeah.
Right, by default. By default, that is correct.
I always this is where the TypeScript strips away all the magic of async await, and you have to remember that it's all just promises. And then
Promises
under
all the
that,
way
it's
down.
all. I'm talking about doing an episode soon on just how not broken, how sneakily complicated promises are in JavaScript in general.
Well, that's
So
why
stay
Ben
tuned
Les
for that.
loves observables, because he agrees with you that async programming in JavaScript sucks. All right, let's keep cooking. So now we have our dog list. Let's go into our template there. I'm pointing at the screen, even though people are home. Like, what is he pointing at? I'm actually pointing at your screen.
I know. You know what? I know what you're pointing at.
Yeah. All right. So let's wrap this with a for loop, but you're going to use this new syntax we just released a few weeks ago. The at symbol.
Let me just break this up a little bit so I
Yeah,
can see
go
what's
for
going
it.
on. So I go at
For
parenthesis.
open parenthesis, right? And then you're going to say, let's say dog of dog list.
Do I need the this in here, or is it no?
Nope. It knows. It just knows. And then you have to put your curly braces. Yep, that's right. That's very intuitive. You did not know that, but you knew what to do. That makes
I
me
did
feel
not.
so good.
I've got my guess. Okay, so then here
We got
I
to
would
fix
want
one thing
like
here.
okay, yeah, all right. Show me what I'm doing wrong.
And your for, you got to give it some type of expression. You know how you have keys and maps for React? And you
Yes.
have to like give a key so it can like know how to do like row swapping and operations, blah, blah, blah. We have a thing called track. So put a a colon after dog list on line 12. And then you're gonna do track dog. Nope, no colon after track. And then you should have a semicolon after dog list. I might have said the wrong one.
Semicolon after dog
Yeah,
list. Got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
There
there
you
we
go.
go. There we go.
Everything's cooking. Okay, if you go back to the code, you should. What you wrote doesn't make any sense for the line 13, but we'll fix that later.
This is just me doing nonsense here.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, but we'll fix it. All right.
Okay.
We're cooking. So let's go back to the browser. Make sure we should have a bunch of dog works. Okay, dog
Look
works.
at it go.
That was pretty smooth. Let's go. Okay, so look, do this for me. Command click app dog card
Command click.
on
see,
line
which one's-
13.
Oh, command click.
Yeah.
I'm
Boom.
like trying to do it in the browser.
No, bro, that's not. We don't have like predictive debugging that you want. We don't got that yet, bro. We're working on it. But you see, remember I was saying about how the templates, you can get like superpowers from the templates now with the
Right,
thing?
right.
That made that really easy for you. Okay, here's what you got to do now. You need to say, well, this dog card accepts a prop, right? Called dog or something. You can call it dog. We call them inputs, not props. We call them inputs.
So
Okay.
like here, there it is. Okay.
Oh, but don't do that though. That's
Don't
one
do
way.
that, dude. Get it out of here.
That's dope that it works that way, but that's not how we normally do it.
Okay.
You can do it the way. It's not how we normally do it. Go down to line 15. But it's
15.
interesting that you wanted to do that. I'm gonna take note on that. You wanted to do that. That's so interesting to me. Okay. At input, capital I.
Capital I input.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's doing this for me.
Yep. Okay. All done. All right.
Okay.
So now our input is called dog. Okay, that's what you called it. It's a type string. So whatever gets passed in there has to be a type string. Now, let's get roasted a little bit. Put an exclamation point after the dog.
After the dog.
The non-null assertion operator.
That's right, TypeScript. You're not the boss of me. I do whatever I want.
I will do what I want to do. The dog is going to be there. Don't you worry about it, TypeScript. Oh man.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna get fired. It's all good. Okay. Let's go back to our component, app.component. .ts. Let's get back in there. All right. Now we got what we need. Let's go. And then, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do square bracket there. Yep. And then put dog.
Did you see it? Did you see it? No.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's cool.
Jason, what did I tell you about the way we care about our developers? I told you our tooling is top notch. People sleep on Angular's tooling. Our tooling is top notch. And it knew what you wanted to do. It figured it all out. That's done. Let's go back to the dog component.
Okay, back to the dog component.
And let's just fill in the properties that we want. So whatever property. So right now the dog is just a string. So just write. Oh, you don't know how to do this yet.
I don't.
So how do you display dynamic values in Angular? We do double curly braces. This looks like a gang sign. I promise this is my representation of curly braces.
Double curly boys.
The double curly boys, right? You gotta do double curly boy and dog. All right, we're cooking. That's it.
Hey, look at it go!
Cooked in the kitchen, whipping. We're cooking. It's happening. We did it. I mean, all right. So now we know what we can do. If we want to get even fancier, we could take those keys and we could pass in, so like this page could have more. So we could set it up where we pass in, you click on this, you go to this page, and then you could display the subreads if you wanted to. We could do whatever we wanted here. Right.
Yeah, I opted to ignore the subreads because that seemed like more of a JavaScript looping problem than an Angular problem.
I appreciate that. That actually makes me happy. Okay, so but now we got the skills because we know what our breed is going to be, right? So the API is like /API/breed
right.
name /images to get some pictures.
Yes. So if we go by breed, then we grab one of these, and so the way that'll work, we can just comment it out right now.
Yep.
Is we will go like that.
You better quit playing. Man, you know what? You a genius. I ain't lying. Everybody, streets at home. Jason is a genius. Like he's right on it. No, seriously, you're right on it.
Will somebody clip all this so that I can just play it on loop when I feel bad about myself?
Like, man, you a genius. David Goggins has a bunch of people saying mean things about him on repeat. We should do the opposite. I like David Goggins.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. You got to be able to write code. See, you at home now. You got your Cheetos next to your keyboard, and you should be writing.
Okay. You should clip people talking nice about you and play those clips back to yourself. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Stay hard. Stay hard. Cold hard.
This is so good.
Right,
this is so good.
Let's people are gonna see this and be like, I'm not watching any of Mark's videos. This dude is too goofy. Like cut. All right, but we do want to display one of the images. So if we went straight to so we got to get the array of data again. So we got to repeat that same fetch. So this is where we could do a quick refactor and probably save ourselves some effort.
Okay.
Because we got the basic stuff working. So friends at home, yes, we know we could do better. Now we got the basic stuff working. Let's refactor. Go to your terminal real quick. Because what I want you to do is make a service.
Okay.
And what you can do, ng generate, service, s, if you want it. And that'll also just work. And then call it dog, right? Okay, cool. Now let's go back to app component. And let's pull out that request where we pull out the dog names, the breed names. In our
pull this part out. Okay, so I'm getting this.
Well, so let's say you keep that probably. You probably take that. Let's copy that.
Copied.
Let's go to that service we just created, and let's make a function called get dog breed. And I'll explain
inside here.
Yep. Yeah, get dog breeds. Perfect. And then we can make it async just like we need to, and we can return line 12 if we really wanted to. Right. And just return the.
Okay, so we don't even need to, let's see, we don't have to await the return because it's already a promise. Good. Okay. All right.
All right. Awesome. Let's make another function. let's get breed photo, or get photo by breed, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I like that. Get photo by breed, and we'll put in a breed. Thank you, RoboComputer. And then this one is going to look just like. Did you know? Oh, you knew.
You knew it was
You
almost
clever.
right. Wait, did it get all of it right?
I think it got it right.
It's missing
that
one curly boy. It's missing a curly boy right there. Right? Oh no, it's string
Because it's a
interpolated.
JavaScript template. Yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. Wow. Good
So-
job, computer.
So let me tell you something real quick on the side about this. I've been experimenting with like these types of assistants and coding tools or whatever. I am not so much worried about my job going away so much as I'm really enthusiastic about how much I'll be able to get done.
Yes, I think I had on Tuesday we did a show about this, and I think that like having it do something like that just saved me 10, 15 seconds.
Boom.
And over the
Boom.
course of a day, that's huge. I don't expect that I could say, write me a functional application and just like ship that code, right? But these
Right.
little utilities, these little repeated pieces that I type 1,000 times a day, ooh, that's nice to not have to do.
Yep. Okay, so that's good. So now let's go back to app component first. Make sure you save that file too.
Oh yeah, now it's saved. Okay,
Yeah,
so back
there
to
you
app component.
All right, and then let's import our service. Okay, so this is great. This is time for dependency injection. You don't want the service to be available to the component template. That's where those imports go. That's component template. You want this to be available to your component class. Here's what you're going to do. Go to line 1, right after on the net. You're going to put a little thing called comma, and then you do inject.
Okay.
Lowercase. No, not capital one. That's a trick.
Oh,
So watch out for that. Okay. You want the inject utility function. So what inject does is gives you an opportunity to use our dependency injection system in Angular. So I can use the inject function and say, what do I want? And then it will go and get an instance of it for me. Right. And if it's a singleton, it'll get the right instance and not create a new one, or it'll create, it'll do all the right stuff for you. So you don't have to worry about it. So this is one of the major powers.
cool. Okay. And
Understand?
where does one put that?
Yeah, let's go down to the body of our app component class. Excellent question. Right under dog list, you want a dog service.
Inject.
Yep, capital D for dog service. Okay, you don't have to put the type there. Nope.
Don't have to put the type there.
Nope. And then to the left-hand side, you want to assign that to a value someplace, so you can actually reference it, right?
Okay.
And so you want to do like dog service, lowercase d, equals.
Whoops. Like that.
Boom, done. Now it's injected. So now you have an instance of the dog service. What's that? Did it import it?
Did now.
Okay, there you go. Great. Love it. So technically, we should be able to
So I should be able to delete this and say, this dog service get dog breed. We need a light. Wait, we want to await. There we go. Okay, light refactor because I named this wrong. Should be breeds.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then let's go back here. Fix that. Okay.
Boom,
so
cooking.
There's our list. And now, theoretically, I should be able to do the same thing over here, right? Where I can say, I need to do the on init. Oh, wait, I need to get the on init.
Yep.
On init. Implements on init.
Looks so good.
Okay,
Yep.
and then I'm going to let this do the thing. Oh, crap. What was that?
You got
What's the shortcut? Command period? Whatever. Implement.
Yep.
All right. Is there like a standard for like, do you put these at the top?
Yeah,
Usually?
I put all my properties at the top.
Okay. Cool. So then here we're gonna say we want to get the dog image is gonna be a string.
Yeah, sure.
It starts out like that.
Perfect.
And then in here we will say this dog image equals await. So we'll make this async. And they're gonna do this dog service. Okay, so it got close. Even with me getting this all wrong, does it know? Oh, I didn't quite get there. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I was asking a lot.
It's okay. But switch that to right. You gotta put your inject dog service.
There's our dog service.
Yep.
And then I
Yeah.
need to make this into a thing like that. And then we will import it.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is a promise void.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now we've got functional code. So
Done.
theoretically speaking, I should now have access to this image, and I should be able to do something to the effect of, let's say, like image, and we
Yes.
can set a width of like 300,
Yep.
and I guess we can do all of that.
And that's right. That is right.
Whoa, is this, does that just work?
That's works. That's right.
Sick. That's very cool. And then we'll set the alt to be the dog.
Sure. Sure. I'm
Okay.
with that. I'm with that. So wait, there's a little bit of magic that I don't want to get ignored here. Those square brackets around source and around alt, those are special and intentional. What they do is they say treat this property like whatever's on the right hand side of the equal sign, treat that as a property of the class and not just a plain default string like you would a normal attribute. So if you were to put like dog K, right, for the alt, it should give you an error, right? Because it'll be like, oh, there is no property called dog K.
Right.
But without the curly brackets, it wouldn't know any different, right? So it's actually expecting something. Yeah.
Just to keep it from distorting. Okay, so this should give us a little square.
We should be good, yeah. Let's go.
Is this just gonna work? Is this just gonna work?
Yeah, it's gonna work, bro. Let's see.
I screwed something up. What did I screw up? Console. New collection is not a function. Did I? Oh, I know what I did wrong. In this one, we're getting the whole list, but what I actually need
Yes. Yes. It's the
is
first one. It's dot message of 0. Yeah.
Oh wait, it is dot message, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? That doesn't seem like it's right. Let's see. What is this? Get out of here. So we do there, we got the message, and then we get, so that should be right. Why don't you like this?
Doesn't
Promise
exist on a
any.
promise any. Oh, because it thinks that. Wait, what? It thinks images. Where is that? JSON.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
go.
There you go.
There we go. Back here.
Okay, so we should be getting closer.
New collection is not a symbol. So I'm doing app component.ts13. So I'm actually in the wrong.
But you fix
place.
things that we would have to fix no matter what.
Okay, so I did something wrong here.
Okay, we got this dot docs. Wait, yes, that's right. Dog service dot get dog.
Let's look at our service because it's probably in here.
Yeah, you're there. Oh wait, didn't we have some other logic someplace where we're getting the properties and?
We did. So we need, let's see, list, and then that is going to be return list.message.
But then we were getting the list dot message is dot message dot object keys or something.
Yes, that is right. Okay, so we threw away a lot of code when I got all happy about this.
Okay, now we're
Look
cooking.
at it go.
Now we're cooking. You see that? You see that? Now we're cooking.
Beautiful.
Boom.
All right.
Shakalaka.
So let me
let's see.
update. No, wait. Our dog component. Make these a little smaller because they're a little big right now. Let's go with 150. There we go. That's a little better. So now we've got. It looks like some of these are broken. We're gonna leave that up to. That's an issue with the API that I'm not
API
gonna deal
problem.
with.
API problem. Oh, but we can deal with it. We can deal with it. You know how we can
Okay.
deal with it? Let's deal with it a nice way.
All right.
Let's see. If you scroll down to where we get the image, won't we know if the image URL is broken?
Not unless we hit it to see if it 404 is, because this, I don't think this is like they gave us an empty URL. I think this is more that they gave us
See,
an
I
image
think they gave
that's
us
a
an empty
404.
URL. See, that's what I think is they gave us an empty one, like one of the
Let's
dog breeds we don't have a photo for.
let's look. So we got here the source. Yeah, I think they're giving us broken images.
Oh, okay, that's fine then. Because if they
Yeah,
gave us an empty one, we could have done something smart around that.
Yeah, this it's giving us an image that I think this is like volunteer submitted. So if somebody has like put an image up and they put it in and then they like disabled the server or something, then somebody has to volunteer to go edit this list. So probably it's something like that. But this is already pretty dang cool how far we've been able to get here.
And that's without that much effort either. Like we haven't even done a ton of the features that you can do with Angular. So let's just let's keep cooking. What other information can we get from the API once we have a dog breed? Can we get anything else?
Not a ton, unfortunately. We can get a full list of the if we go to a particular breed, we can get a full list of like all of the images of that breed. So we could show a little gallery, but we don't have, it doesn't give us like any other details as far as I can tell.
I see. I was hoping that we could find a reason to do routing, because I'd like to show, just kind of how like the routing works.
So we have, do you think we could do it in like 5 minutes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so here's what I think we can do. Let's have these link, and so we're gonna do the link a little bit dirty, but we'll do something like this, and that's not gonna work obviously. But then we can set it up like this. We can set up this one as a span, and this one as a span, and this gives us like a linkable set of. This will take us to a page, and then on this page, we can get all the images for this particular breed. So we can make that same call, but instead of just getting one, we can show the full list.
I'm fine with that. So let's make this work. So let's go to app.routes.ts.
Okay.
Already set it for you. Okay, go inside that routes array, and then what you're gonna do is make an object, empty object. Yep, and then you're gonna do the path, PATH, colon, and then we're gonna set the path. The path could be like dog / something like that, right? And then colon. Yep, you better work, boy. Let's go. And then we need a component to go to. When this happens, where should they go, right? We just need to say whatever you want to call it, literally whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so let's call this what would be like app breed component or something.
Sure. No, but that you want the component class there. So go to your terminal real quick. Right where you are, just have the terminal. Let's generate that breed component. Yep. Component, and then we're gonna say what do you want to call it? Breed. Yeah, okay, and then do -st. Yeah, cooking. All right, now let's go back right where you are. Take those quotes out, and then put the class name that you just created. Just start typing what you typed. Yep, breed component.
Breed component.
Oh yeah, because you put component in the name.
Because I did something cute and I shouldn't have. Let's see. I can open this. I can get rid of this, and I can fix this.
Yeah,
Did I just break everything by doing that?
You didn't totally break it. You didn't have to do it. That's fine. Okay, so then nope. Change the class. Change the class like you did. Okay, go up to the selector. Let's see what you got. That works. That works.
Okay.
Now let's go back to the place where we're using it and the routes, and let's make sure that perfect. You're back like you never left.
All right.
Okay, so that's done. Let's go back to an app component. We need a place to display the thing that we're gonna show.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the bottom of this list for now. I mean, this is not beautiful, but it'll be fine.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, and then you just want to do router outlet. Yeah, empty. Yep, there you go. That's where it's gonna show up.
Okay.
whatever we click on. This is a really bad idea. All right, go to the app dog card. I'm just gonna make our life a little bit easier.
App dog card
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Let's take that image out for now, or make it really small because it's gonna be too hard to scroll. So make it like 50 for now, right?
50 works.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to our screen. Make sure our screen's still working.
There we go.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
What a
totally
mess.
fine.
It's fine. Looks beautiful.
It's fine. Go to app component again. We're gonna do one more thing. Okay, put an HR between. Yep. That way we can know where our new images start.
Oh,
So
I
if you
gotcha.
go down, yep, you put an HR. Okay, cool. Cooking. All right. So now we got to make this a route thing. So what you want to do is in your where did you run to? Oh, dog component. Right. This is where you put your links, right? Okay, now in that imports array, capital R for router. Yep, router link. Yeah,
Okay.
cooking. All right, now take that that href. You don't want that to be an href anymore.
Okay.
We're gonna change that. Let me get the exact syntax because right now it's escaping me because of the pressure. The pressure's making-
We just started a timer on you. Like, hey, let's do this as fast as humanly possible.
Man, and now my brain is like, how to do the router link. You just got to type the router link. It's the router link directive that we got to use right here.
Okay.
And it's just a square bracket, the word router link equals. Yeah, I'm remembering. Okay, equals, and then inside of there, let's put like a little array.
An array.
Because you have so here's what you can do an array here. It'll make sense in a second.
Is it in a quote?
The whole thing's in a quote. Inside the
Okay.
quote, first thing is an array.
Okay.
The first thing in the array is the quote path. So you put like a single quote around there. Nope, don't write the word path. Sorry, I meant the part of the path. So you see that, and then yep, quote that comma, and now you're going to specify the property. You see, so that's why it's an array. So
Like
the
that.
first thing is the string path, and then the property list. You see what I'm saying? You got to
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that was a little hard to explain. So now, what have we done?
What did I blow up? We got
What have we done? What
circular
have we done?
dependency for router.
That feels bad.
How did I do a circular dependency?
I don't know. Let's see. What did we type? So you got router outlet there. So that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And then we've got our dog card. Is it because I pulled the router
No.
into a component that's
No,
already
you-
getting...
No, because you need it there. Otherwise, you won't have access to router link. What did we do wrong? We did something small that will make sense once we figure it out. Go back to the app.routes.ts. Okay. You were not in the breed component right now, right? When you made that last change, you were in the dog component, right?
Right.
Okay, so we should not be in here. Nothing should be in here. We should be able to just click and make this work. What did we type? Let me just double check our syntax. What? Let's see. This is personal. We can figure out router link, circular dependency. Now I got to do what I would normally do. I had to Google to see what did I do with the router here to make it mess up.
Let's see. So that does what I want it to do. We get our missing dogs. So the circular dependency is in here somewhere in the router link in the template.
Okay, so when you save that, what does it give you any information?
It says path cannot start with a slash.
Oh, sure. Okay, let's fix that. Go back to the route page, the app.routes.ts.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't do that. I meant to tell you, sorry. We were going too fast. There you go, save that. Okay.
Hey, there we
That's
go.
better. And then all those reds are just broken pictures, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So
And
now
then
if
when we get
click
down
that,
there,
yeah, breed works. Now we're back in the business. We got like 2 minutes left. All right. We're back in business. Let's go into breed component. Let's do implements on the net real quick.
okay, implement on a knit.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Then do your ng on the net async, promise void.
promise void.
Save time there.
Make this
Async.
async.
Yep, boom, and then we're gonna do and then define a property called dog service. Sorry, I'm like way away from my microphone because I was leaning.
We're good.
in.
We're good. that means we're really cooking when like you're just like I'm in. We're doing it like this.
Yep.
Okay, so let me fix this. We're gonna import. Fix this. We're gonna import, and then we need to go into that service, and we need to add one that is get all
breed. Yep, all breed photos or whatever.
get all photos by breed, and with this one, we're going to just return the whole thing. So great. Then we go back over to the breed component, and we can say, so we need, let's see, photos.
Yep, photos sounds great.
And that's going to be an array of you knew. Perfect.
You knew. Who knew? You knew.
This dot photos is going to be await. This dog service get all photos. And we're going to throw in the breed, which means we need the input.
Okay, yeah. You gotta do something a little tricky here, though.
Okay.
You do something a little tricky here. Do input. You definitely do an input here. Okay, this is about to cook. Okay, and then you need to do an input setter. Let me get you that that syntax. This one's brand new, where you can get the input directly from the. You want to get the input directly from the route.
Okay.
Right? And so let me just get you that syntax. I do not know this right offhand. I can't even lie to you. Still memorizing. Okay, but you're gonna do a setter. Where is it? Where is it? I know somebody in the comments like he don't even know this. Okay, okay. So you do input, and then you can do set as the property name.
It's like this.
Outside of the brackets and outside of the curlies. So input, and then next word is set, and then you set. Let's see, breed. That's fine. It's a function now, so instead of a property, it's a function. So, yep, looking good. And then inside the curly braces, you want to do something like this dot breed name. You can do this dot breed name or something like that. We're gonna handle this in a second. Equals breed. Okay, and then you're gonna have. Wait, let's see. You need to go up just a little bit. Okay, and the parentheses there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got this. I don't want to mess this up here. Just do value. Let me slow down and do string.
Okay.
Value is a string. Okay, now you do value right there. Okay, now pass breed name into your function.
Now pass breed name into this function?
No, sorry, into your dog service call. Yeah, just do breed name. All right, and then define a property called breed. Yeah, okay, perfect. Let me just tell you what we did right here. We used this nice little trick we did where, you know how you can send components values through the input mechanism?
Mm-hmm.
We can also pull a value from the URL and bind it to that same input mechanism. So that's just like a nice little convenience method that you can use to do this.
Got it. Okay, so then we're going to say image of photos.
Yep.
Track image.
You cooking. You
And
cooking.
then is it just going to do this for me? Because that'd be sick.
That looks right to me. That
Yo,
looks
did
right
you
to
just
me.
do my job for me? Nope. not
Almost.
quite.
I mean, but you're almost there. Because it's
Okay,
the
but
right
what's
number of things.
Undefined. Okay, so we missed a piece, and the piece that we missed is that what? When we get all our photos by the breed name, can we... It's saying undefined, which leads me to believe that something is missing in here. So let's see. Can I just like console log
Yes, sure.
this photos? Let's do it. Let's get this open and let's see what comes back. We get nothing. Does it log in here?
Oh, because you didn't navigate to that page yet.
I didn't navigate to this page yet.
Now it should give you the...
Breed not found. Master breed does not exist. Uh-oh. Breed undefined. Okay, we're not getting the breed. We're missing something. So the breed name is not...
Okay, so, yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
This breed name... Oh boy. Oh boy.
You know,
We
hang
played a
there.
dangerous game doing this right at the last minute. Where does this get?
Okay, so do two things. First
Logged.
thing is in your okay, so you got an error there is because you got syntax error. We could sort that out.
That I think got fixed.
Okay.
Yeah, that
But-
part's fixed.
Do something from real quick. For your console, go filter your output to not show errors for a second. Because
Filter it to not show errors.
yeah, the log level is a cog up there. I keep pointing it just kind of like you can see this. But anyway, now you can just see what you were trying to output, so we can like get an idea.
Yeah, okay, so it's sending back breed does not exist because we're not getting the breed.
Okay.
So let's... Yeah, our breed is undefined. So something in here...
Okay, so let's
We're-
look at that.
we're
Let's make
missing-
sure that we got that cooking right. Okay, so you got your setter. Value this.breed name. Oh, go to app.config. App.config. That's yes. This is the last part. We're done. We got this cooking. Add a comma after routes.
Here?
Yep. With 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 component input binding. There you go. Now we cooking. All right.
Do I need to import this?
It should. I think import it. It imported, but you got to execute it. Like a.
Oh, it's like one of these?
Yeah, now it'll work. You get. So this is a new feature. We just added this. There we go.
Look at it. Look at all these Pekingese.
Rabasha.
And then we can hit another one. Let's get corgis. Wait, what did I do wrong here? Let's see. Here's our corgis. And here they all are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we missed something that's causing it to, like the refresh, because it is updating the page, but I got to refresh the whole page to get it. So we're missing some kind of a refresh, but unfortunately we are out of time. But this is pretty dang cool that we were able to get all this going this quickly. I love, there was a lot of intuitive stuff. The tooling here is doing a lot of work, which is pretty dang impressive. So Mark, for folks who want to see more, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend that everybody just sets their calendar, come back and tune in on the 11th when Jessica from the Angular team comes back, and we're going to do a little more. So mark Jessica, your calendars for that. And if somebody else wants to, if they want to go further, like where do they go next? I'm going to drop your links again.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So 2 places you can go. Check out our YouTube channel, because if you like the way that I teach, like the way I instruct, you can find out even more information on our YouTube channel. I have a course there on youtube.com/@Angular. You can get stuff there. If you want to learn more, I designed the tutorial in the browser that we run through. You can get more information there. And then if you want to learn even more, our community is wild. There are amazing groups. There's Angular Nation, Angular Architects. There's people like Brandon. There's the NX team. They have a lot of Angular content. There's like so many people I couldn't even imagine to name everybody. Like Adis has a great book. I mean, there's just books. There's everything out there. I want to give everybody respect and say there are lots of people out there who are doing great things you can learn online. You just got to go out there and put stuff out there. You can find it. But if you got any more questions, tag me or tag the official Angular account, and we're happy to help you.
Wonderful. Yes. So make sure you take advantage of that. Make sure that you hit up Mark and ask him all your Angular questions, and get directed to all the other wonderful people who are contributing to this ecosystem. With that, let me do one more shout out to our sponsors. We've had Netlify and Vetsu Code kicking in to make the captioning, which is being done by Amanda, who so graciously stayed a little late today. Thank you so much, Amanda. I appreciate it. And Amanda's from White Coat Captioning. While you're checking out things on the site, make sure you go and look at the schedule. The schedule is absolute fire going into the new year. Y'all, it's going to be so much fun. This is our last episode of the year. So please have a happy holiday, have a happy new year, and we will see you all next time. Thanks, y'all.